Oh no, I saw a couple of his tweets and I'm like, yeah,
we're live. Yeah.
Anyway, Rock Edison HexHarrison once again live.
Live streaming
good to be
from,
here.
from Four Dog Studio in sunny Shenzhen. Yes,
Yep.
where I just got my went to the COVID testing station to get my COVID test that'll last me for the next 3 days. How about that?
Oh no! Well, at least it could be worse because I've seen some pictures.
It's painless. It's easy, but it's just like what?
Has your headphones charged it?
Hang on. not really, no. But hang on.
I've got to listen to myself again then.
Well, then be quiet. Hold on a second. I'm trying to do something here. I got to get this thing pulled up here. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, gosh. I'm tired. Yeah.
Yes, we are professional to the last.
My brain is not 100% functional and active today.
Yep.
So let me go. Susie. Really, Susie? Okay. Today.
Right. So who have we got lined up today?
Well, we've got Susie and
yes,
and Manuel.
as always.
Well, I'll let you carry on with that while I'm getting this thing set up.
Well, can you plug your headphones in so I don't hear myself?
I'm working.
That
on
would
it.
be nice, wouldn't it?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
So hopefully later on today we have Dylan from PHIAT.io. It's going to be popping in. We might have Hex Blanca as well. Going to grace us with his presence. And we shall be chatting about all things Hex, Pulse, PulseX, the possible launches of Mainnet, and the joys of pumping our bags.
Bag pumps.
Bag pumps!
Bag pumps.
Oh dear.
So I'm just working on pulling up the streaming software on YouTube here. YouTube Studio. Can't be reached. How nice. Thank you, China. Okay, there we go. All right. Can I monitor this now? I guess. There we go. Okay. Got that sorted out. This is going to be a pain in the asshole.
That's fine.
No, I don't know why these these earbuds, these Bluetooth earbuds are so screwed.
Didn't you have a pair of Apple ones?
Going to go a different route. Well, I don't know why they're so low on battery.
Oh.
Because I charge them after each use. But let's go and change it up. Let's do some other stuff.
Well, as you can probably see by my lighting, it's quite
right,
overcast today.
Yeah?
So I might have to do a little bit of tweakage on my
No, your light's
ISO.
fine. You're good. You're good.
How about
good. Now you're over bright.
No, I'm
Yeah,
over
you
right.
were perfect. Yeah, you were good. Let's stick with that. Well, we've got 1,000 viewers already. Woohoo!
Yeah. Woo-hoo! I know that's not true, but anyway.
So, tell me about your experience with harvesting incentive token.
Ooh. So, since I've added more liquidity to the Pulse and PulseX pool, I have increased my yield of incentive token by about 1,000 USD equivalent value. Not 1,000 tokens, but 1,000 USDC equivalent value. So currently it's about 3,000 to 4,000 USDC equivalent every day, which is not bad. I didn't restake my yield yesterday, but I let my incentive tokens hold in the in MetaMask overnight, and I took out I released some of the PulseX liquidity in the Pulse and PulseX pool because I was running out. So I put some Pulse and PulseX back into my MetaMask wallet, and then I basically did a incentive, added some liquidity to an incentive token and a PulseX pair. So now that's been pumped up since last night. So because obviously that's on a higher APY yield. So yeah, it's quite lucrative at the moment. Not sure how it will be when Mainnet launches. I don't know how the APYs are going to be, but hopefully they should get to these kind of amounts pretty fast, and we can all be making passive income without selling any of our hard-earned assets. So that's good news.
Yes, it is good news.
Yeah. So hopefully another thing that I've got a tentative date of June 10th for my insertion of my Telegraph poll.
Which what date?
June 10th.
Ew. Also,
So about 10-11 days time, with any luck, I should have one of them nice 9-meter telegraph poles outside my house, and then I will be able to string a little cable across and be able to reach the internet superhighway rather than the scratchy broadband of nonsense I've got at the moment.
That'll be fiber optic, yeah.
Fiber, yeah, 900.
You can have a classroom full of school children all on their cell phones inside your house using the Wi-Fi with no interruptions.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going to get a classroom full of children, but if there is a classroom full of children in the house, there's probably going to be a few news headlines about a major kidnapping.
or a pedo.
Yeah.
30 children in his house.
Yeah, so rather than doing that, I'd probably just use all the bandwidth for myself. Would be nice.
Just keep it for yourself, dude.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you what the network providers do for hotspots, local area hotspots. I used to think that there was big antennas around that provided Wi-Fi hotspots that people lock onto, but what it actually is a percentage of your bandwidth on your router is saved for hotspot purposes. So if somebody wants to have a hotspot outside your house, they can literally use your network on your router.
And this happens where?
This happens all over. They use other people's routers, including your own, and a percentage of the bandwidth on that router is reserved for providing hotspots. So you know what I'm going to do, don't you?
Let's back up just a second there. That is if you use the ISP's Wi-Fi router as your Wi-Fi router.
Well, I've got to use some kind of decoder, but I will probably use my own router to create the IP and just use that as the modem for the fiber cable.
Yeah, you just turn off Wi-Fi, try to get try to turn off DHCP on that, then wire that into your own router with DHCP, and then wire that out to the Wi-Fi routers, and boom, you are insulated.
My network is secure. Yes, I shall do that. I did manage to buy a Asus router while I was in China and hack some. Well, not hack, but you can re-upload a open source router software that's out at the moment, which is you can sideload Astral to it. So you can choose what you can actually choose what devices actually throttle through or throttle's not the word, but you know what I mean. Through the VPN and what goes straight out. So that's quite good. So
I'll
definitely try and install that for the way back. So
we don't have any guests yet, but we will have. So yes.
well, everyone's watching Crypto 7 at the moment, so give it another half hour.
Maybe not everybody, but more than one. So what I was going to say is that Dylan from Fiat will join us very soon.
Yeah.
And very soon, maybe it's going to be about 8 o'clock. It's morning time where he lives, and thankfully his day off is today, so he could do this with
that's
us.
good.
So, yeah, we thank him
God
a lot
bless
for
him.
that, because this is not the best time. Our timing is very difficult, especially with the East Coast, because 7 p.m. for me is 12 p.m. for you in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I get off work. You have the best timing, actually. And
Yes,
then,
thank you.
And then, so somebody on the East Coast of Florida, 7 p.m. for me is 7 a.m. for them. Oh.
Yeah. And there's also New York time as well, right? 7 a.m.
Yeah.
as well.
And of course, the West Coast is extremely difficult, because really right now, it's probably 4 a.m. on the West Coast. So,
Yeah.
Who's going to be awake, right? I mean, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. to come join you on the live stream. No, I don't think so. You know.
Well, if you want, go on.
I was just going to say, it's really, really hard for me to. But the more the day gets long, the more I wilt, and it's like I don't have the energy unless unless it's a happy hour, then I can go all night. But
we can state to that.
Yeah, I can do some ice clinking in the glass all night. But work day, it's just like, man, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the brain shuts down. And by the way, that segues me into the fact that I needed to get a song released on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Well, a song released in general, and part of that entails creating the release graphics, creating some kind of a video for YouTube, and I needed to get this song released, so my entire weekend was spent working on graphics and video, then literally uploaded last night at 12 o'clock midnight, and which was well past my bedtime. And then, as I mentioned, I didn't get to sleep till 1, woke up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
And,
Monday Night Blues.
Yeah, and then went to work today. So, boxed up my lunch this morning. So, it was a lot of fun, man, doing that.
Well,
but I have the video queued up. We can
maybe we can just have a quick teaser of that, and then you can tell us what it's about afterwards.
Huh? Why is this not? Uh-oh. Oh, wow. For some reason that phone decided not to charge, but now it's charging. But I've got the video queued up, and we can have a go at it while we're sitting here, just the two of us jibber jabbering.
Jibber jabbering.
We should probably talk a little bit about our experiences with the hex price over the last week and a half. And how that has made you happy, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, at the moment, I was lucky enough. I wasn't going to do it over the weekend because we had that massive dip down to 5 cents, and I wasn't going to fee it in anymore. And last night, last Sunday morning, UK time, it was about 6.9.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't think it's going to get any lower than this, because we're approaching June, and I think, anyway. So I bought some more. I just, I got another 7,000 hex, and I've now reached my target for the fork. So I'm done now until that launch is done, until the snapshot. So yeah,
I see
I'm
Blanket
quite
has
happy with
joined
that.
into our chat here. Said
That's
hi
nice.
to him. I don't know how to add comments to the screen. Let's see, show. There we go.
There
now
you
I know
go.
how to do it.
That's more editing work for me. Lovely.
Welcome, welcome, Hex Blanket, to the screen.
Yeah.
To the stream. You see there? I'm
Yeah,
tired.
welcome to the screen. Hopefully later, welcome to the stream.
Welcome to the screen, brother man.
Yeah.
The screen is where you all want to be at all times.
So, continuing on with my purchase hex story, I managed to buy in at 6.9.
Okay.
And, yeah, so far all weekend we've been above 7. So I'm happy with that price, and I think, hopefully, I think we've seen I think we've seen the lowest of hex, the lowest price of hex this year.
Maybe for now. You know, I do think it's going to go up. I do have a feeling. I've been looking at Dex Tools, right? Because Dex Tools gives you the chart, and right below it gives you the buys and sells. And I'm starting to get a sneaky suspicion that there's a lot of trading at play, right, with Hex right now, and maybe in general. But I don't want to. You know, I don't want to say for certain. This is just I'm speculating. But I see a lot of buys and sells. You know, I'll see there seems to be a lot more buyers than sellers. The sellers seem to be selling higher price. But I'm just kind of wondering if we don't have some, you know, trading going on with Hex where, you know, some people may, you know, buy, ride the price up, then sell it, wait for the price to go down, and then buy it back. I don't know. I wouldn't pretend to know anything about trading because I got into crypto to hold and I never even looked into it. But, you know.
Well, that's the thing, same as me. I wouldn't know where to start.
Anybody out there listening to this or even listening to the playback, you feel free to chime into the comments anytime and, you know, tell me I'm full of shit or not.
Well, I'll just do it for fun anyway. But anyway, what I was going to say, it could be possible that a lot of people have kind of decided to do some fishing with some other coins and other tokens, and then they wait for the price to go down and they'll buy some more hex, you know, down the road at a little bit lower price. But again, for me, it's all speculation. Yeah, there has been some.
I don't know. Just literally this dip and what took place during this dip and the price getting bought up and then somebody dumping quite a lot, then the price going up and then somebody dumping quite a lot, and then watching those buys and sells on Dex Tools. It's like, I think there's something at play here. Anyway, blah. So,
well, in the long term, we're not going to be worried, are we, really? Because we kind of know what's around the corner.
So you had a target for your bag,
yes,
and you were able to hit that target, at least the short-term target, right?
Yeah.
And you were able to hit that with a lower price. The bus, the train, as if you will, backed up for you.
Yes. It's found my lost luggage.
To put your luggage on the train. And there is a silver lining to that, you know.
Now obviously you can always go back and think, oh, if only I'd have got all the money that I put in, because let's not forget I bought last year at 44 on the way up, and of course this dip is almost the same value as I bought in originally last year, June last year, before, you know, while I still had some other Bitcoin before I got out of Bitcoin. But, you know, in the long run, dollar cost average and all that, I think we're all right. I think we are where we need to be. Okay. So I'm quite happy with the bag. I'm quite happy the fact that it's a roundish number. And I'm quite happy that the snapshot hasn't happened yet. So hopefully on the other side, we should be able to make some moves and do some things. So that's going to be interesting. Definitely the next thing for me is to learn about ladder stakes and starting to, well, I think the first year I'm probably going to reinvest my yield, restake all the yield, So I might do longer stakes at the beginning of the launch, but definitely down the road we're going to be looking at passive income and farming and yielding and harvesting and all kinds of gorgeous words. So,
Well,
yeah.
I think it's a good idea. If you're not going to go, Quattro Cinco, which is not a play for me. But if you're not going to do that, just setting kind of in stake points where you see it will be useful for you in your life, and of course at those in stakes, if you need something, take some profit. If you don't, you restake and build your bags more, I guess. I mean, like I said, I've sold Hex
Sure.
once to you, right? And that wasn't much, right? But it was a good way for me to get USD in my US account
Yes.
because I'm in China,
No.
right? But yeah, I mean, I've had a few stakes end, and I just pump it all back in just because I mean I don't
Yeah.
need it right. I don't need it right now, but if I need it, it's there, right? And that's the cool thing.
Well, I saw somebody's tweet today on Twitter. They said if Hex goes to 50 cents again, then they've got a $30,000 a year income.
Yeah, sure.
So, and I
Well-
kind of did the calculations, and it was like, well, that would kind of work out the same for me, really, if Hex went to 50 cents. Now, that's just one chain. If it goes to 50 on both chains, then, then we're okay. So,
Yeah, Blake says
think
he's got
a
some
lot of-
Quattro Cincos. I got some Quattro Cincos, but the advent of Hex and Pulse, hoping to do more short-term ladders. Yeah, I think my plan is to probably set up ladders on PulseChain and do longer-term stakes on ETH. I think I'm not 100% yet.
On the
I want
ETH,
to see
yeah.
want to see what happens when PulseChain launches, but I want to make sure to have some liquid available on launch. Hang on just a second.
yeah, I think that was the game plan for us, I think. Yeah, I was going to say that was the game plan for us because we weren't 100% sure of what's going to happen during the launch, what moves and opportunities we were able to make during the launch. So having a little bit of liquid would have been the sensible choice for our situation. So again, everyone's different. Everyone has different economic opportunities and also requirements, etc. So what
I
works
think-
for one not necessarily works for the other. So and if you're go on.
I think it depends on, again, what is it going to look like after 2 or 3 days, right? Obviously, the first thing that we need to do is mint our Pulse and Pulse X, right? I think a lot of people like, what are you going to do on the first day of PulseChain launch? I'm going to mint my tokens. That is going to be the first thing I do, right? but
Sure.
then kind of just seeing what happens. Now, if you've got liquid hex in your bag, right, and you could say, like, let's say you got 10,000 hex liquid, and you could take 1,000 of those hex and convert it into 20 million Pulse X. Would you do it? I certainly would. I'd be like, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But now I'm not saying that's going to happen, and the odds of that may be low. They may be normal. But I mean, again, it's just about seeing what's what. It's like, are there any moves to be made here? Because once everything starts to fire up, I'm guessing that there's just going to be a lot of volatility all over the place, and we know how kind of ratios work, and waiting too long to push that button in some cases can wreck you. Sometimes it can save you, and I don't mean wreck you in a big sense, but it's like, oh, the gas fees went up to 300. I can't do this now, right? Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or like during the time, remember the Pulse sacrifice. So The Pulse sacrifice, I wrote it out because I was sacrificing hex. And I was waiting for that hex price. Now, that was those 10 days were really, really exciting because we watched that price go up to 17 cents, kiss it ever so briefly, right? Actually, I think it went to 18, didn't it? And then it kind of fell over the next 2 or 3 days. And I was, so for me, the sacrifice daily time ends at 8 a.m., right? Same way with hex reset. Every day it's 8 a.m. for me here. So I literally sacrificed on day 10 at 3 a.m.
Huh.
Just ride that price, right? But remember, we saw that price go up to 18, and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna hold out.
I remember.
I said, no, I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna hold out, and then we didn't push the button, and it just kept going down. It's like, it'll go back up, and it didn't, right?
Yeah, I kind of had a bit of paper hand syndrome because I watched it at 17.
Top in the house.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I had some paper hands, and I said, well, I've got to push the button now. So but it went all the way down to 12, and then you had to wait until the last second to get it back up again. But it did go up,
man.
and
So. Well, yeah. I mean, I got it just under 17, right? We went as low as 10. No, I think we went as low as 8 cents at that during that time, right? Didn't it wick down to 8 cents? Looks like we got 10 top in the house.
Yeah, he says the contract is the same on both chains. The goal, capture T shares, longer pays better.
Yeah, okay. I mean, again, I understand that ethos. And, for me right now, I'm definitely not going to Cuatro Cinco. I don't even know if I'm going to be alive in 15 years, right? I mean, let's face it. Let's face it.
What do you mean? On last stream, you said you were 33.
Well, thanks for reminding us, but
Yeah.
But no, I've got strategies for ladders and all that. But I just Cuatro Cinco is not for me. It's not.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think what we forget is there's lots of different hexagons in the community, and we're not all spring chickens. So some of our economic plays are going to be slightly different. Everyone has different economic requirements.
We all have our investment goals and reasons. Sure. Hey, Tin Top, just want to tell you can join us if you like. I can drop you a link.
Nice avatar, by the way.
Tin Top. He's the Mandalorian. We cannot see his face ever until we can. Right?
Talking of that, have you been watching Obi-Wan Kenobi? I did like the recap at the beginning because a lot of the Star Wars films I haven't actually managed to see. So I did like the little previously on Star Wars.
The times at which I get to actually watch it, I'm sleepy, so I watch. I always fall asleep. So it's like a good book,
Sure. I fall asleep to a Joe Rogan or Lex Friedman podcast, so it's the same thing for me.
Let me drop this link in here just for the heck of it. Dun, da, 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 da. There's a link for you, Tin Top, if you want to come on and talk with us a little bit more today. We enjoyed so much having you the last time. I never did get your Twitter. I can't find you on Twitter, so I would have dropped you a link into Twitter earlier. But if you can find me on Twitter and DM me or follow me or tell me or maybe drop your Twitter handle in this. Maybe you don't want to do that.
I mean, he might not want to dox himself, but reach out and we'll definitely.
Well, he's not
give
doing
you a follow,
that, right? Yeah. Well, I've been on this, but yeah, if I get you in DMs, I can definitely. Sorry, I can't. Well, thanks for the invite, though. I can't. Yeah. I can't drop you a link ahead of time, but anyway, we'll sort it out. No Twitter, no Facebook. Sorry.
I told you. I knew it. That tin top's got sense.
Does he have sense?
We feel you, man. We feel you.
Let me
It
put
can
this
be a
up.
little bit, a little bit toxic sometimes.
Well, I mean, I didn't until it did. Hey, man, still streaming in about 45 minutes. Yes, sir. This is Dylan coming in.
Okay. Yeah, Blanca, if you want to come in, you've got the link down there as well. Feel free.
Yeah, you guys
Pop in,
jump
say hi.
if you feel like it. So Dylan pinged in and said he was. Are we still streaming in about 45 minutes? I'm like, yes. I said we're actually on now.
Sure.
Wow. I sent him the link to the tweet, so he must know that we're. Carry on, please. I have to deal with some dogs.
As you were, dear. As you were. Yeah. So what? Basically, we were working out our strategies for mainnet launch. We're going to have a little bit of liquid hex at launch. We've got stakes ending pretty soon. Personally, anyway. So hopefully the idea is to have some liquid hex at launch and to be able to make some moves if any need to be made. And if not, we will then stake on our chains regardless whether it's going to be... I'm probably going to look at doing ladder stakes on the mainnet, on the PulseChain. And then maybe, like Rock said, maybe do some longer stakes on the Ethereum chain and see how we go. But definitely we'll be farming on PulseX, so that will be nice.
Well,
So-
possibly. I mean, here's the thing. We have to see what the returns are on that because there is risk to providing liquidity. And we need
Sure.
to look at stability between the pairs. If we start farming straight away on two pairs that are highly mismatched,
Volatile, yeah.
we might end up losing a lot, and the yield of whatever the incentive token probably won't do much.
Won't be that high, yeah.
But
Well, it's
the
like I
pool-
said, luckily...
the PulseX staking pool will be a no risk move, right?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't think there's any risk in that move. Actually, I think that's
The
just-
PulseX staking point, explain that. You're not talking about the validators, are you? Or is
no,
that
the
something else?
pool. The PulseX
Oh, the
pool.
pool. Oh, the PulseX
Yeah,
pool.
yeah.
Got you. Not the farm. The pool.
Hey, there's our buddy. Come on in. Come
Blanca.
on in. Blanca.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, Blanca. How are you? Your mic
Every
is
new
muted.
guest. Every new guest gets a taste of Rock Edison's lovely English language.
Ah, that's lovely English accent.
Yes.
Look, keep it loose, keep it fun.
Yeah.
We can't hear you, Blanca.
Yeah, set yourself up, mate. Don't forget, start the Connect app, then start the software.
Well, while he's doing that, I am going to transition into this video, and let's just watch this release that I stayed up all weekend to finish.
Yeah.
And let's do that.
Okay.
We get
Intermission
set up.
time, ladies and gents.
It's intermission. Let me set it up. Oh, wow, really? Unbelievable. Whoa, what's happened? Oh, okay, there we go. Let me know how the audio volume is.
Sounds good to me. Brought to you by Hex.com.
Hex.com.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Blanca. We got you. We got you. How you doing, buddy?
Oh,
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I can do a
There he
mixture
is.
of accents for you today. We got the Jubilee Bank Holiday coming up.
No, nice. So we're just taking a little bit of an intermission, listening to this video I just released last night for one of my songs. So let's listen to that, and then I'll get right back to you. Okay?
nice.
All right, mate.
Remember the day when we saw the angels falling. Needless to say, we were down. The sky was gray with tears of loved ones. Salvation was nowhere to be found. Born to a place with love of mothers. From that first day we were bound to a world that cannot protect us. Once lost, we can never be found. Give us this day our moldy bread, served with silence broken by a deadly sound. Unholy host of governors refuse to protect us from mindless random fire faceless crowds. Living in the days of bullets flying, the innocent are falling and dying. Demons spitting fire at faces of lovers, while faded souls drift among the clouds. Remember the day when we saw the angels falling. Needless to say, we were down. The sky was gray with tears of loved ones. Salvation left frozen on the ground. Remember the day when the fallen were lost forever, never again to be found.
Nice. So how long did it take to write that one, Rock?
How long did it take to write?
Yeah.
Good question. Probably about a week.
Nice.
Maybe.
Blanca,
a little
you
bit-
still with
maybe
us?
A little bit less.
Yeah, yes, guys. Can you
There
hear
we
me?
are.
Yeah,
Yes.
now we hear you,
Yeah.
hear you quite good.
Clean
So-
and
Great
crisp.
book. Yeah, I enjoyed that, Rock. So the themes in that, some of the lyrics, is it about this kind of situation we're in now this year? Or?
Yeah, and
So-
constantly in. Yeah, and if you notice the colors on the video, kind of spells it out.
Yeah, that kind of theme.
You figured that out, but definitely. You know, it's I don't. You know, my eyes have been watering a lot from this kind of stuff that's happened over and over and over again, and it's just like nothing gets done. There, there are people in charge. They're responsible, right? I mean, it's that simple, right? I mean, but anyway,
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I had to deal kind of with my own emotions in writing that song, and that's why I wrote it. Just a release,
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but on to happier notes,
Yeah.
The ones with the Queen's head on.
No, one happy note, I managed to get that transaction through.
Nice.
So I was listening to you guys talk earlier, and yeah, I'm looking forward now. The next week or so, we should see. Do you think it's going to be launching in the next week, or do you think we could go into July or June? I think it's pretty much June.
Just no.
I think it's going to be launched when the dev says it's ready. I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do speculate about when launch is coming. I mean, especially when we get when we get within by mid-May from Richard Hart. I do understand why it didn't launch in mid-May, but so with that, I had an expectation, but I didn't sweat it too much. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, they're doing a lot of stuff. Apparently they totally rewrote most of the code that got ported over.
Yeah,
So they actually have found a lot of issues with the code, and they've just completely redone it, which is fantastic news. But it's just takes time.
I think what it really was actually just making everything more efficient. I don't know that they actually had any problems that they couldn't solve, but by rewriting those parts in a different language allowed them a more efficient code base, right? So everything just runs more smoothly, right? Richard mentioned it about faster transactions and things, just and
yeah. I mean,
probably
a lot of this stuff is
less of a chance for bugs, shutdowns, problems, right? So
yeah. I mean, a lot of this stuff is way over my head, but the fact that one of the poignant remarks he made during the last interview was the reason why it hasn't launched is because he's got good developers. Because if his developers weren't good, it would be launched already. And I thought that was quite poignant.
He is not going to allow PulseChain to launch in be a disaster. That's not going to happen.
A ragtag state for the holes.
He is definitely going to be more of the guy that, look, I'm going to be bragging about this stuff later, so better be right. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the selling points with Hex, right? Or sentiments change much more because you could say it's like a product, not a project, where a lot of, I mean, we've seen what's happened with Solana, for example. It had some bugs. It didn't really seem to affect, at that time when the bull market, people were still investing in there. But this is why people trust Richard Hart now, and they're going to go for this ecosystem.
Well, that's the thing, right? Well, Tip Top jumped in. Let's add him in here. Tip Top jumped in. All right.
Hey,
How you doing, Tim Top?
Just waking up. Just waking up.
Man, so good of you to join us so early, but we loved talking to you so much the last time, and really, I'll always invite you on, man. Always. So, if you happen to pop in when we're live streaming, I'll drop you a link somewhere,
Oh, right on. I don't jump on. I don't jump on many streams. I've been on a couple, but I just wanted to touch on this point of Richard Hart redoing the code. I hope, I trust him. I think he's a smart guy, and I know he's going to do his best and not launch this with being buggy. But I hope there's some lessons learned from Luna, in just that he's got a target on his frickin' back, that people are gunning for him, that people are already attacking Hex. They're going to already attack, the new PulseChain. They don't want it to succeed, but we got to be patient.
I'll tell you
and just
another
wait
thing.
for him to come out with a good product.
Exactly. I'll tell you another thing that I thought was quite poignant during the interview with Eric Chow. Eric mentioned about he doesn't know any of his devs, and any of his devs, if I don't know them, they're not worth knowing. And Richard kind of said, well, I don't want crypto devs. I just want good devs that I can teach how to become crypto devs. And I thought that was extremely poignant, because maybe the reason why all this crypto stuff has been buggy and crashy in the past is because they're picking talent from the same pot. Do you see what I mean?
That's a good point, Harrison. That is a great point.
Yeah.
Because,
so the fact that he's using original devs with fresh mindset that really know the code and are being taught how to use that knowledge in a kind of way that works for crypto, and then also for them to go back and then give Richard Hart reports and say, look, I suggest we rewrite this. I suggest we do this. I suggest we do that. It's a total fresh set of eyes on an old problem kind of thing. And I think that rather than kind of say, well, let's just rush it to market, I think the devs are coming back with ideas and kind of contributions that sort of say, well, look, we can rewrite this. This is garbage. Let's rewrite it. Let's make it better. And I think that's so poignant. I thought that was quite interesting to hear.
Here's
very
the thing.
poignant. They already upgraded Solidity once for Ethereum.
Yeah. Here's the thing that Tim, you probably can identify with. So you have those people out there who will make sure their shit is tight. They will do a good job and make sure it's perfect at all costs. And then you've got those people who are just going to tick off the boxes on a task list, right? Done, right? And Richard Hart is one of those guys. He is not going to do it. He is not going to take a stab at it. He's going to nail it, period. And, that's it. So it's good. Yep.
Well,
right,
we've
it's
all
not
got
just
car
the copy
mechanics that
pasta.
are like that. You've got... Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say with an analogy, we've all got car mechanics like that. Some guys are just, whatever, tick, tick, tick. The other guys are like saying, no, we need to do this, we need to do that. Oh, by the way, I've changed the oil, I've cleaned this, I've cleaned that, and go above and beyond kind of thing. So I think this is the kind of level of people we're dealing with right now. Is not just like, just get it done, just get it out the door. Doesn't matter. We're actually dealing with people that want to make it amazing, flawless, faultless. And of course, he wants to carry on the zero downtime blag, which is a flex, which obviously is very important. He often mentions about why the Bitcoin chain, or was it the Ethereum chain, had to be rolled back a couple of times because they found a bug and they had to roll it back, and it was all, Of course, he doesn't want any of that. So
Ethereum Classic.
I don't think he's just going to do Control C, Control V. He's going to.
Well, even still though, I mean, it's about being thorough. Being completely 100% thorough, and again, using Hex as the example. Okay, right? And I remember waiting for Hex to come out. I was, but I think what was it, like a week or so? He said, buckle up, it's coming on this date, right? It's pretty good stuff, and so, digging in and doing a good job is different than doing enough. And he's that type, you can just tell. And by the way, how excellent that we have a ready-made community to go into this launch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tin Top, I did want to mention something to you about,
Well, that's the thing. It is insane.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention to you about the social media thing. I've been in development for years, right? And I mean, I've been been involved with online kind of social media all the way back to bulletin boards and message boards and stuff like that. And I have never engaged because There's not a whole lot I want to say to a public forum. There's not a whole lot that I even want to engage with a public forum until I joined Twitter, or I joined Twitter a long time ago, but I kind of took an account that I had and I put it into this community because it was where I was going to get up-to-date information, and that was it. But then I decided at one point I'm just going to engage with this community. I'm glad I did, but I'm this guy for years, 20 years, like, no. Facebook, you can go to my Facebook and see like 0 posts, but I'm pretty active on Twitter because I feel like there's a lot of people who are like-minded, with the stuff that I believe in. And I think RH is one of those guys as well, that he's got there's a lot of things, that I feel I have in common with him about morals and, being positive and doing good things. So anyway, blah, blah. That's it. That was it.
No, I was a troll, just
social
lurking in chats for the longest time until it's finally like, this is a great community and this is a great project. And so I started promoting it and just going into other channels and telling people about Hex and on YouTube chats and live streams. But I stayed quiet
Sure.
For the longest time just because
Did you see? Yeah, exactly. Did you happen to see the Hex Tangent debate a couple of days ago? I think it was.
With Bobby G,
a
yeah.
guy called Bobby, yeah. What did you think of that?
I thought it was really good. I think Bobby brought up some decent points about different things with Bitcoin, Hex, and
Sure. Do you think that sometimes the Hex community can get a little bit, if it isn't 100% Hex, then it doesn't exist? Do you think they can be a little bit kind of negative? Because I do know a lot of hexagons out there that are genuinely hexagons, but they are, they are trying to learn about the market in general, not just.
I'm going to answer
just
this.
one thing.
I'm going to answer this from my position. First thing, I felt that Bobby G was disingenuous. Really, all you need to do is scroll through his Twitter profile to see why he gets to see why he gets hate, right? Because literally, what he's doing and what a lot of these guys do, that not because they're shilling other coins, because they're calling us all idiots for being invested in Hex. I take that to great offense. So F them all. And I felt that he was disingenuous in talking about good positive vibes. If you give out good positive vibes come back to you. That's how I finished the stream. But he's shouting out about, look at how these people are talking to me. Right? And
Sure.
But what was he doing? Well, he wasn't throwing out positive vibes. If you go through and scroll through his Twitter profile, he wasn't throwing out positive vibes. He was basically shitting on Hex. And so I urge you guys to go to go to see his profile. It's not about him shilling anything else. He's telling us we're all idiots because we're invested and we believe in Hex and we believe in Richard Hart. So guess what?
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
Little bit of the pot calling.
That's going to have to be edited out. Jesus.
Is it?
Go on, Tintop.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the pot calling the kettle black there, but
right.
No. If you're on the internet anywhere and you don't understand that trolls and people are going to be negative, and that's only like 2%. The rest of the people that really are there for knowledge are sitting in the background. They ain't saying shit. They're just quietly listening. They're not engaging. That's probably the majority of. They're watching on the restream. They're not there live. They're just there for content.
Well, again, in all fairness, we've had as a community, we've had like 18 months of being called idiots for following a scammer who's clearly scamming us, and we're too dumb to see. And any slight price drop, it's like, see, I told you, rug pull, see, and it's like, wow, we've had this for 18 months.
It insults our intelligence.
I can understand a little bit why the hexagons are a little bit
it insults our intelligence.
These
people out there blah blah blahing all this stuff out there, and in some cases being visceral. By the way, Bobby G's Twitter profile about Hex has been visceral. I went down through and I'm like, anyway, but the point is that we're all human beings. We're people who have our own lives, and we've built our lives in whatever ways we have. So I personally am going to get offended by that. Now, that said, when it comes to Twitter and when it comes to actually putting out positive vibes, right? Because he said it, you reap what you sow, right? At the end of the stream, he said, you reap what you sow, and then he's complaining earlier about getting what he sowed, right? So there's that. But I always ask myself a question. If I'm writing a tweet and I feel angry, I have to stop and ask myself the question: does this make the world a better place? That's it.
Sure.
That's all I have to do. How can I? Okay, I need to respond to this. But is there any way I can do it in a positive way? Can I bring it to light? Can I be factual about it without going, "You're an idiot," right?
Sure.
So, but I do stay positive, and I've stayed positive my whole life because for me, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work to be, even if I catch myself complaining, I'm just like, Jesus, what are you complaining about, man? I mean, people got it bad.
Yeah, we won.
Yeah, and I'm complaining.
We won.
Yeah.
We already won. We don't have to prove anything. We already won.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
No, I thought the reason I brought it up
because
because yeah, go on, carry on, Tin Top. Sorry.
Hex is just going to say Hex is a superior product. We already won. We don't have anything to prove. I try not to be too juvenile on streams and that sort of thing, but that hate stuff gets a lot more attention than all the good comments. That there could be 10 comments that are nice and whatever, and the one or two hate ones pop out.
And by the way, dude called all hexagons dicks. He said, "You hexagons are just a bunch of dicks." I'm like, hold on, I'm not a dick. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you
Not on Fridays, anyway.
So you just come on a live stream and call 30,000 people's dicks. Just go, oh, you're all dicks. That's bigoted. That's bigoted.
That's just like when they call it ad hominem attacks, Right. It's like when you start attacking the individuals, like Rock was just saying, then it's not great. I didn't see that debate, but one thing I would say, I kind of got into Hex around March 2020, and it was a big learning curve for me. I didn't know about staking or T-shares, and I was in before big payday, all liquid. And the friend that got me in, he just said, look, why don't you just the day before big day, payday, stake something and you get some reward. So that was my first thing of staking. And I told HexHarrison this. I actually sold half my bag of Hex very early, which was a mistake. And one of my friends said, Blanca, your doorbell at ATH, it's like your doorbell was like at a decent amount of figures. But since then, I started watching Richard Hart's streams, and one of the best defenses is like, for such a scam, show me any victims. I don't see a big trail of victims. When you look at scams in the world, or you should see a massive trail of victims, and I haven't seen that many. And people just came in recently and bought at 40 cents, and it's down now. They haven't lost anything until they, sell and now the system. So even then, that's not. No one's put a gun to their head and told them to buy Hex, and it's still got a positive future. There's still like, how many's the average staking? 6.6 years people have staked, and it's 7 billion staked. It's you don't see this in other coins and projects or products.
Well, that's kind of the point, right? Anybody who got wrecked by Hex did it themselves. They
Yeah.
did it to themselves,
Exactly,
man.
yeah. Exactly,
Right?
yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's it. And look, man, when we started to get these free fall in prices of all crypto, after after the Fed came out and said they were going to raise the interest rates, I'm just like, I felt pretty calm. I'm like, I'm safe. I feel safe. Yeah, sure, I might lose value in my bag, but I will always get new coins. And I don't expect the price of Hex to stay down, and I don't expect it to be held down either. I expect the price will do what it's supposed to do. Yeah.
And on top of this, I think it's the whole education. Who else said don't hold your coins on exchange? The learning about private keys, learning about security, and I think this is where the community comes in. And in December, 2021? So I met HexHarrison, and we went to the London event. And then by meeting, the number of Hexicans, we met Hoddle Dog and a few of the guys, and you could generally say, I'd say 98% of the people, they were quite positive, and the vibe was,
right.
They're not like nasty guys. I would say 98%. We went to they had a little after party. I think a UK Hexagon put that on in a club. But yeah, it was good to then see physically these are the people. It gives you confidence in what you're investing in as well, right? And the community is a big part of it.
It's
a good community. I think the Hex community is amazing. Yeah.
Tin Top?
I was just going to say, it's way more positive than negative in my book. Just because I see a lot of the content and I see a lot of the positive people, and they're outshined, I think, sometimes by the negative, but there's so many positive, good people in Hex that just want to teach you. And like you said, there's such a huge learning curve to Hex. I'll tell you my entry into it. I free claimed Bitcoin, and the longest free claim stake I made was 2 years. What a mistake. What a mistake. I wish I would have captured that T-share price longer. I learned my lesson there, and Hex was designed to stake long, and I do long stakes, and I try and look at that chart where big stakes are coming out, and try and anticipate and put right, and paying me amazing regardless of the Hex price every single day. It pays me. And I'm good there, so I'm trying to be a little strategic and put some Hex stakes in before some of these big moves happen with some of the big players. I'm not a big player, but try and be a little strategic there. But none of my stakes are under 2 years. I got a 5-year to 10-year outlook on Hex. This space is so brand new, so small, pre-viral, But yeah.
Well, we definitely we definitely have a lot of upward movement.
Sure, I think Tin Top's going to be around pushing us in the wheelchair. Yeah, but yeah.
Tin Top's.
Hey man, you can speak to yourself, HexHarrison.
We got K5555. Shout out to my longtime buddy Hex Blanca.
Yes, no, this is the great guy K555. He's the one that actually taught me everything I know about crypto from the start, and
Nice.
I've started. He said he couldn't keep on spoon feeding me, so I had to, start getting involved myself. There's so much to learn. So since then,
now you're sucking on someone else's titty.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing for me, right? And it's like, look, it's an opportunity that we all know is a good opportunity. We all feel fortunate, and my thing is quite simple. Anybody that I know and care about, if I will guide them, I will handhold them through the process, right? But they got to meet me halfway. If they don't meet me halfway, I'm just like, if they can't figure out how to get money into the wallet, and I've given them as much help as possible to try to figure that out, and they just fall off the trail, it's like, okay. But,
yeah, you got to do the homework, haven't you?
we help our friends and family, not because we want to pump bags, but because
genuinely to help.
we don't,
Yeah, you know
we
the
don't
opportunity.
we don't want them to miss out.
I was going to say, it's lonely being on the yacht by yourself, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you what, I got a couple coworkers, and one of them, his brother got him into SHIB, and his whole theory was, if it goes up to a penny, I'll be set. And it just told me he's never going to understand crypto. I try and get through to this guy, and he just doesn't get it, doesn't want to learn, doesn't care. He's looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. And I try and tell him if SHIB went to a penny, it would outpace the market cap of precious metals, the S&P 500, and something else, combined. It just doesn't make sense, his theory on investing, and education's key there. Education is just key. You have to learn this stuff on your own and understand it so you can invest wisely, I would say,
Well, the genie is out of the bottle, Pandora's out of the box, and so, I think we're going to continue to go in. I've got Dylan queued up here in the green room. We're going to talk about some fiat. So I'm going to bring him on, guys, and give him an introduction. Why don't you give him an introduction, Tim, and then I'll
Okay, you want me to do it? Go on then.
Yeah, you give
Drum
him
roll,
an introduction,
please.
and we'll give him a chance to introduce himself and speak a little bit. All right, let's go. There he is, Dylan.
Welcome, Dylan. Thank you for joining us.
Stream, brother.
Hey.
Morning. Well, for me, good evening for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, it's afternoon. It's afternoon for us Brits, but yeah.
So 8 a.m. for you, Dylan.
Yes, sir.
Also, and Tin
Well,
Top's
thank you
also
for joining us.
Tin Top's also in the AM. Blanca and Tim are in the UK. So
Lunchtime.
we're all over the place.
Nice.
I often get doxed on this channel, by the way. But yeah,
Yeah, I can't help it. We talk so often. Everybody meet Tim.
yeah.
Dylan,
Right,
give us
so
a quick introduction.
PHIAT.io, man. First of all,
let's let Tim introduce himself.
I was
first.
going to say that we've seen a couple of your other streams. We're very impressed with the app itself, with the platform.
Nice.
And how about just giving us a little elevator pitch, if you like, of who you are and what your platform is.
So, yeah, my name's Dylan HexHarrison. I've been in the community since the beginning, since day one. Found Richard back in 2018. Been an admin for, I don't know, maybe a year or so in some of the telegrams for the hex channels and stuff. And in some of the chats that I've been in, some of the, I guess you could say, lesser known chats. One of the guys, Buck, came to me and said we're going to fork Aave for PulseChain, and I was really excited about that. So I said, how can I help? What do you need me to do? I want to be involved in this. This sounds like a really good idea. So here I am, and essentially, elevator pitch of PHIAT.io is it'll be like the bank of PulseChain pretty much, right? So you can deposit certain currencies and then borrow against those currencies that you deposit to go borrow stable coins, or say you deposit Hex and then you can go borrow PulseX or Pulse for whatever it is you may need to do, right? It's essentially Aave for Richard Hart coins and the ecosystem. So that's the short end of the pitch, pretty much.
That's a good pitch.
Nice, well done.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. I do have some questions lined out, and I think I'll just start.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
before you start, first of all, let me just say that myself and Rock Edison have been interacting and using the platform for about a couple of months now. So,
Okay.
we haven't just heard about it. We've been wanting to talk to you for a while.
Yeah.
We have been using the platform. First of all, I'd like to say well done, by the way. 'Cause
Daily.
It is amazing and it works.
Yeah, the devs are great, right? I have no complaint about the devs.
Yeah, but it's been really nice to interact with it. Like I've never used Aave, so I don't know anything about it. But yeah, we've enjoyed it. I mean, getting kind of that testnet view into it, right? Make moves, don't get wrecked, right? Doesn't matter. and so we've been freewheeling quite a lot, and I don't know. I've probably 3 or 4x my bags just making move in the ecosystem. So
Nice.
I mean, it's been fun, but and stuff I would never do with real money ever.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
It's like no.
I personally been short Hex, but I've shorted it a few times on there, so
Yeah. I wouldn't short Hex. I think that's just a bad day waiting to happen. But
yes, sir.
But yeah, we've enjoyed daily going in there and keeping an eye on it, which really is where all the questions stem from. You're getting questions from people who have used it, right? Like
Yes.
daily. That's probably a pretty good
Nice.
a good tool for you to get information out, because a lot of times what I notice with a lot of these kind of streaming circuits and different projects, there's a lot of regurgitation with the same questions, and obviously there's no opportunity to come at those from a user perspective.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's no use. And I always, I like I said, I've been in software development for a long time, and I always tend to think about my curiosities from a user perspective. So with that said, let me start out the questions.
Question 1.
Yeah, actually, the first question, this came up in a conversation I think that we had with Chaos a couple weeks back, and is this completely decentralized?
So
Trustless.
the protocol has we would like to say governance tokens or governance keys, right?
So it's got a DAO kind of thing?
No, this would be controlled by the devs. This would have access to interest rates. This would have access to coins that could be listed or delisted. This could have access to collateralization levels, things like that. But as far as the depositing and withdrawing of coins, that's purely you in the contract. The devs have no access to that stuff.
Well, the APY questions come a bit later, but yeah, that makes sense, and that's a partial answer to what I'll ask later. But yeah, so there will be management that will be needed for certain parts of the platform. I get that.
Yep.
Okay. Now here's a good one for you. What potential risks do you think there's going to be for users? Any potential for loss? Right.
Yeah, I think if you use this improperly, of course, there's always going to be user error or over leveraging yourself, and then the market moving against you. I think that's the greatest risk of this stuff, right? So if you're degenerately trading with it, you're probably going to get liquidated, right? So, but I mean, as far as code risks and things like that, this code has been around since 2017, right? We're forking Aave v2 essentially, and then we're adding the revenue sharing component from another Aave fork. But I mean, yeah, the code has been around, battle tested. It's got $14 billion of liquidity across 7 different chains. So this stuff has gone through the turn or whatever. It's
with that being said, it brings the question: have there been any improvements made to it that you guys felt just needed to be fixed?
So as far as code-wise, no, right? The code is pretty good. It's pretty efficient. It does what it needs to do. But on our end, we're adding the revenue sharing for this fork, right? We're adding, so you can take your fiat coins and you can stake them, and then you basically get 50% of the revenue produced by the system if all of the coins are staked. And that essentially means, say everybody's only borrowing and lending USDC, right? So if you stake your fiat, you would get USDC coins as part of the revenue share. You wouldn't get more fiat coins like the model of Hex or anything like that. You would actually just get USDC coins, which is pretty cool because there's no inflation involved. There's no, dumping your own coins or anything like that. You just simply get some stables.
So staking is done with fiat, right? The fiat token, right? Yes.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
And the yield on that is going to be some stable coin. I'm guessing USDC may not be it.
So it would be whatever is being borrowed at the time, right? Okay. So it could be a basket of currency.
Oh yeah. I remember you said that. Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be a bunch of different, whatever's being used the most, you'll probably get the most of, right? So.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. Let me get on to the next question. So we're currently in demo mode, and do you guys plan an update on testnet anytime soon?
Yes. Actually, we're going to launch another version. So this would be the one that you see right now in testnet is actually version 2. Okay. The next version will come out shortly, actually, because we already have the ability to claim your sacrifice points for fiat, right? And you can use those for the testnet v3, which will have staking involved on testnet. So yeah, that'll shortly be coming out. I don't know exactly when, but maybe in the next week or two.
So I did not sacrifice for fiat, and the reason why I didn't sacrifice for fiat is because I really couldn't sort it out. It was like, wait a minute, can I sacrifice now? Or because there was like a level 1, level 2, and it was over my head, and I don't think I had time to just dig into it and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
And
it was really short, so.
Yeah, and it was.
I was going to say, apparently you had to be pretty damn quick to get anything.
Well, that was the thing. I think I could have sacrificed if I could have figured it out in a day, and it just wasn't going to happen, right? It was a busy day, but that was fine. But so I think fiat is now on PulseX, right? The fiat test token.
Yes,
okay.
So both of them are on PulseX right now, yes.
Okay, both of them as in?
So there's the fiat coin that we launched essentially, or initially, and then there is the one where, you can go and claim your sacrifice points, and then you can go on market and trade it if you wanted to.
Okay. So, yeah, that brings the question then. I wasn't able to sacrifice for fiat.
So you got to go buy it, man.
Well, I got that, and that's actually one of the questions on my list. So then, sometime after PulseChain launch, you guys are going to go live. Are you planning to go live within a week, within 6 months? What?
So we'll have the token launched as fast as possible. Okay, but as far as the platform, it'll probably take a couple weeks, maybe 3, maybe 4. Just to allow the volatility to kind of settle down a little bit, and to allow everybody to just relax, right? Because I'm assuming that shit's going to be going nuts for quite a while until things settle down when Mainnet goes live. So you're gonna launch the token as early as possible. Correct.
And what would I buy that token with?
Good question. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if bridges are available, you could bridge in coins. If you sacrifice Pulse, if you have Pulse or PulseX, you could trade for that stuff. Or if you have Hex, or just any ERC20 right now, you just trade it for. whatever, right? It all depends on what you have.
So it's, yeah, I mean, I will have some coins over there that are outside of Richard Hart tokens, but so to the bridging side, I mean, if I was going to get fiat, I mentioned earlier, like if I could exchange 1,000 hex for 20 million pulse hex, and on launch, I would do something like that. I would actually, but outside of that, I would probably prefer to bring in fiat USDC, bridge it over, and make a purchase right on it. And I've heard just whispers about potential bridges that might come up. Do you know of any? Like off topic, but just curious if
I know there's multiple projects that are going to have bridges or whatever. Their main goal is to have bridges. But the few that I do know, or at least one, will wait until Richard has his bridge go live.
Okay.
But I'm going to assume that somebody is going to have a bridge live as soon as possible. I don't know who it's going to be, but I'm just going to, it's a free market. People want to have an advantage. Somebody's going to do it, right? Probably.
So now I do want to talk a little bit about stablecoin, right? And of course, we know that you don't necessarily need to borrow a stablecoin in order to take advantage of whatever, right? On fiat. One of the things that HexHarrison and I have done is we've actually pitted USDC against USDC, right? We've over leveraged on over collateralized with other assets. Kept a 1-to-1 ratio on USDC, right? Those APYs were fairly close, and we could pay off our interest daily, with a little bit of the yield that we were getting.
Okay.
But we don't really know what kind of stable coin is going to emerge early on from the system, right?
Yeah.
So we're just really going to be using the platform more, not really as offloading any fiat, but really just for increasing, assets.
Yeah, exposure and stuff. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But I mean, once there's an agreed upon stablecoin that is relatively stable on PulseX, that'll be the go-to. That'll be the one that we have the most liquidity on, right? On fiat. So.
Got it.
Speaking of liquidity, you had a good kind of strategy to acquire more Pulse and PulseX with one of the meme coins it's launching too. That I thought was really clever and made me think you really thought about this system. What coins would you like to see paired, or do you think would have the best yields to pair to fiat coin?
I don't know. I would like to see fiat paired with a stable coin, personally, so it doesn't move with the market so much, because I think that Pulse probably will dump. So I think if there's more, fiat paired with Pulse, it'll drag it down like it does on PulseX right now. Because
right.
When I first so a little bit of backstory. When the devs launched the coin on PulseX, they paired like millions of fiat in the liquidity pool. I was like, what the hell are you guys doing? And so I bought all of it, and then put it all versus USDC, and I started the pool at like a couple $1 million, and I bought it up to $40, right? Because that's pretty cheap still on testnet, because everything is inflated on testnet. Everything is inflated because. Also, a little bit more backstory. You could have gone on the V3 pools and sold 1,000 Pulse for $2.5 million on testnet, right? So all those numbers you see on testnet are inflated to shit. Like
All of them.
everything's crazy high value.
APYs included.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's all funny money, play money and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just as a baseline. So I paired a lot of coins with USDC, but naturally, as time went on, the Pulse pair overtook the USDC pair. I don't know how that happened. There was bots trading it every day, and it just naturally filled up with Pulse. And ever since, it's been trading basically with Pulse. And, that's kind of annoying because Pulse has been dumping on testnet. But so.
Right. And to reiterate, testnet, not only are the prices inflated, but the activity is absurd.
Yes.
God,
You don't see that kind of activity on regular chains. And I've played with Aave on Ethereum and also
Which is expensive.
Right. So very little bit of playing back when it first launched, but I started moving over to XDAI, where they have an agave fork, I think is what it was.
Okay.
That's basically the same type of market you're creating, and there was just such little volume going through that it was kind of awkward. It didn't work the same as Ethereum with low volume,
Yeah.
Well,
so
one of
getting
the
people
things
to understand that you're not going to get wrecked by taking a highly collateralized loan, that it is something worth playing with. It's one of the mechanisms this space has for passive income, and just ticking away and just making that number go up just a little bit. Even if you don't have a huge bag, you can still work that system and increase your bags. But it definitely acts different with low volumes,
Yeah, and I don't expect the low volume to happen on Pulse because a lot of people have vested quite a bit of energy into the Pulse fork, and a lot of those guys, I've spoken to, and they're attracted to the APYs that will be available on Fiat, perhaps, right? If there is exponentially more APY on the Fiat platform than there is for a validator per se, there's going to be a lot of Pulse on here, right? Because they don't get diluted, they don't get stuck in a liquidity position or anything like that. They just have post their coins as collateral. They can borrow something else.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I drew a lot of Pulse X yield out of the Fiat test net because the APY was like 56 or something %. And I'm like, okay, I think I put in a ungodly amount of Pulse
exactly,
X.
Yeah.
I think that brings us on to question 5, doesn't it, Rock?
Well, I don't know, but I do want to ask the question: is this a viable option for people just to deposit funds in and take yield without borrowing?
That's totally possible. Yeah, you could totally do that. Yes.
I mean, I guess the real question, and since you have experience with Aave, which I don't, I mean, would those APYs, do you think that they would be attractive enough to, like you said, if I put it over here, I'm going to get X amount of yield. If I put it over here, I'm going to get X amount of yield. So there may be opportunities in there that would give you yield better than it would elsewhere, right? Money goes where it's treated best, kind of thing. Okay.
Yes, and you could probably see bridged in Ethereum or BTC or stables go from Aave on Ethereum over to the Pulse side because the APY is greater, right? You could definitely see that stuff happen. I think there's also arbitrage perhaps between the liquidity positions and then the APY that you're paying to borrow for those particular liquidity positions, which I think is what you guys were doing, right?
Well, yeah, really what we were doing, we kept pulling in, and I'll tell you what we did, which I don't know if it worked or not, but we took our incentive, we harvested incentive tokens daily.
Okay.
We switched those incentive tokens into USDC, put that USDC onto the fiat platform as a deposit, borrowed that same amount back, transferred it back into incentive tokens, paired it back up with PulseX to get the yield on the farm.
Nice. Okay.
Right? And then so part of that move also was also making sure that at least the interest was paid off daily. Right?
Yeah.
And we had other assets in there giving us more yield from other tokens, which in some cases maybe outpaced the actual loan amount. So that was good.
Yeah, so I did something similar as well. I testing, I have a shitload of, like, a lot of capital, right? But essentially what I did was I borrowed 100 million Pulse and then 100 million USDC, and then put it in the incentive token farm. And then, I was getting, 7 figures a day in incentive tokens to pay back the yield, right? And I was making a lot, right? And it was worked fabulously. So
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I just wanted to. We found it curious because there was different APIs on APYs on the borrowing and the depositing.
Yeah.
We just want to know what causes those differences. One day it's 300, the next day it's 10.
Before we get to that question, I just wanted to jump in and say that again, it was about what. So you borrowed PulseX and you borrowed USDC from the fiat platform.
Pulse and USDC, yes.
Oh, Pulse and then you paired those together in liquidity. You put them onto that farm and earn incentive tokens.
Yep.
And then what did you do with the incentive tokens?
Sold that shit.
Okay, so you just sold them for USDC?
So I sold it to repay the loans.
Loans,
so
okay.
I was chipping away at my
Well,
my loan.
That's a good one, yeah. But anyway, what I was going to say is that the APYs have kind of dried up now. They're kind of they're not astronomical like they were before, and which segues in. And I went ahead and pulled most things out because I'm still holding 2 tokens. I think I have some Hex in there, and because I'm not staking Hex on testnet just because I don't need to, right?
Yeah.
Right. I can use it just to try other stuff, and which I would never do on mainnet, by the way. But I think I've also got my Hedron in there, which doesn't really earn anything for me otherwise. So yeah, whatever it is right now, like 3% or something, or 0.0 something. But that is the question now. Now, what determines those APYs, right?
Good question.
The amount of things. Well, yeah, I just wanted to bring that point up though before we got into that question.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, what actually feeds into determining those APYs?
So essentially, it's boiled down to supply and demand based. If it's a more risky asset, it's going to have a higher APY cap if the pool is maxed out, right? So you saw for a while that the USDC pool was producing just for a depositor was producing 60% APY, right?
Yeah.
That was for a while. That was because I had $100 million loaned that whole time. I had a huge loan out, right? And now I paid it off and it's a lot lower now.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
So if there is, say for Hex, if you borrow the entire Hex pool, it'll go to the borrower will pay 2,000% APY for that entire duration that it's being borrowed. And then a depositor will get, a shitload of APY just for being a depositor.
Right.
Now that it's leveled out, it's a lot lower. It's probably less than 1% right now. For deposits.
So let me just break it down into simple terms. If I've got a higher percentage of the pool borrowed out, the APYs are going to be lower.
Very.
Right. Go ahead.
If more of the pool is being borrowed, the APY will be higher.
Right. So it'll be higher. So if I have more deposited than I have, if that ratio is more on the deposit side, then the APY goes lower.
Yeah.
So I need to borrow a lot of something out of there and get those APYs up.
Exactly. Yeah. So for
Just
instance,
for
on
fun.
testnet, I'll go borrow as much USDC as I can, just real quick, and
Well,
you'll see the APY shoot up real fast.
Actually, let me pull it.
Live
I'm gonna-
price manipulation.
I'm
We
gonna,
like
I'm
it.
gonna pull it up.
Yeah. So it was less than 1% just now, and the transaction's going through, and I'll borrow all of the USDC.
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna get. Oh, good. I got it.
All right. Now just for depositing, you get a 77% APY.
On USDC.
Yep.
Nice. Well, yeah, that's cool. Anyway,
So
but yeah,
that would explain the high APYs 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
now, this brings to the next question then, which is okay. So the system has an auto balancing with the deposited versus borrowed versus those APIs, right? So it does an auto balance. Now, you mentioned earlier that there would be guys with keys that would need to make moves on the APYs. What would that entail?
So this would be like this wouldn't be them actively setting the APYs on a daily basis. This would just be more so as okay, the liquidity versus the volatility, however they calculate it, it deserves this amount of APY to incentivize people to borrow more or less.
I got it.
So for instance, you would see that Hex has a very high APY because it's a lot less liquid than Pulse is, and perhaps it's a lot more volatile than Pulse is. So your collateralization rate is only like 50% on testnet, if you want to go off of what testnet numbers are, but they're testnet numbers, right? You would see that the APY is more incentivized for people not to be borrowing the entire pool, right? It would be more so to borrow maybe 30%. I think 30% of the pool, I think, is still a pretty good borrow rate, if I'm not mistaken. And then it still pays the depositors a decent yield. But yeah, essentially it just boils down to how risky it is to borrow the asset, right? But it wouldn't be actively managed on a daily basis. It would just be, okay, these are the parameters, I guess, the devs go by, and then, as things change, the ebbs and flows, they'll be adjusted accordingly. But, if you adjust that stuff too fast, it starts to liquidate people. So, the goal is to have it set to where it's very risk off and kind of, the way it is and the way it stays. Mostly.
So is it a break glass in case of emergency type of a thing? More to that side of things.
Say that again.
Is it more of a kind of break glass in case of emergency kind of things? Or is not? It wouldn't be standard practice. It would be things that where intervention would be needed, kind of thing.
I don't know how to put it in that sort of situation. I could. If you really want to know, I could speak to the devs to just DM me this particular question, and then
I think that it's good information for everybody, really.
Yeah.
Just so they kind of know, right? Because again, understanding that helps risk assessment, I guess.
Of course.
But yeah. Let me move on from that. By the way, if I dump $1 billion, if I see that the PulseX yield amount is super high and I dump $1 billion PulseX, then I'm going to lower the
Of
APY.
course. Oh yeah.
That's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
Pools are definitely dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very dynamic. That's why you would see possibly assets move from different chains because the APY is greater on fiat, perhaps, right? And then you would see more volume kind of naturally flow in to capture that APY spread.
Yeah. Here we go. We're on APYs. So let's ask this question: what is the difference between stable and variable APY on borrowing? Because they're both variable.
So if you lock in a stable rate, that's the rate you pay for the duration of your loan,
I noticed.
right? So
Well,
you don't get
okay.
subject to higher or lower rates.
I get it.
So it might be higher, than a variable rate, but it's like an adjustable rate mortgage. If the market is really, really good and the interest rates are really low, your variable rate mortgage looks amazing, right? But then, the Fed raises the interest rates, and now you're fucking paying 60% interest. Like, you're screwed, right? So
now I see the error of my ways, because I kept seeing that stable APY moving, but not because
that's like the interest rate on your mortgage if you're trying to get it.
But the thing is, I never borrowed. I never locked in that stable rate, so I only saw it moving. I never saw it as okay. Got it.
Exactly.
See there? Cleared that up.
It would just be like, literally the best way I could describe it is you're applying for a mortgage, and the mortgage rates go up and down constantly until you lock it in, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I never locked it in. That's why it appeared to me to be variable. Yeah, I get it. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, I asked you before. I think I already asked you this one, so I'll move on to the next one. The staking function, we kind of got that worked out. How long after PulseChain do you intend to launch? We got that. What stablecoin do you think will be part of the protocol? We got that. Now, here's the question. Could we expect to see stuff like Pulse Dogecoin, Mintra, USDL, incentive token? I mean, how will those tokens be determined? And could we expect to see any of those tokens on testnet?
I think on testnet you'll probably see what you can get. I don't think any more coins will be added on testnet. But as far as mainnet is concerned, I do think that some of these coins will be listed if there is sufficient liquidity. If the volatility is low enough. For instance, there's some guys that have Pulse Doge that perhaps they would like to borrow against that position so they don't have to sell it.
Right.
Some of the
I
big
might
holders.
be one of those.
Yeah. So, that's that's a possibility, right? But it all depends on what the devs decide, right? Because if it's too risky, they won't add it. If it's not liquid enough, they're not going to add it, because inherently there's a risk. If some users do create this, let's say, an imaginary horrible, okay? Let's say somebody creates a coin, all right? And, the devs are foaming at the mouth to just have things added, okay? And the person that created the coin also has all of the liquidity. And, they put the liquidity, they pump the coin, then it's listed, and then they pull the liquidity, and they borrow everything that they can against this coin. And no matter what the coin does, they can't pay off the loans, right? So we don't want that situation to happen. Right. That's something you don't want, right? Because then,
first.
How can you pay back the loans, right? Because you can't dump the coin. There's no liquidity, right? So we don't want that situation to happen. So as long as the devs think that it's very stable or relatively stable, right, and has plenty of liquidity across many different users, then sure, it will probably be added, right?
Good. That actually concludes my questions. I would like to turn it over to Tin Top, since he was good enough to join in, and see if he has any questions or discussions that he wants to have. Tin Top?
Yeah, the only I got a question, but I think I kind of already know the answer to this. But will we see any pools that are kind of like the curve pools, where it's a basket of coins, of stables?
That might. I don't know exactly how Curve particularly works, but regarding say baskets of things, I would like to see liquidity positions able to be borrowed against. I think that would be really cool to see. I think that, it would be pretty cool to see also HSIs, perhaps, if, that could possibly happen, right? But I don't know particularly about baskets of stables, because I don't even know if Aave has anything like that. But I can definitely ask the devs if they could add that feature, because Curve I know is
Yeah,
very
I don't want to ask too technical questions, but like you were saying, the HSIs and the LP tokens put in there actually create that kind of stablecoin buffer pool reserve that Curve mimics a little bit. I'm sure a dev will say I'm completely off on that, but that's kind of the gist of it.
I think
Curve being a stable coin area that I've heard rumors talk about on PulseChains, that because it is the biggest liquidity pool on ETH and stablecoin pool on ETH, we're going to have something similar to that on Pulse.
Yeah, I think if you look at the Curve protocol on Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken, which I don't know a whole lot about it, I'm definitely not an expert on Curve, but I know that if you're trying to find, or if you're trying to complete an arbitrage, the last stop you want to make is Curve, because it has the best transferring rates between stable coins, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's the biggest pool on ETH here.
Yeah, and I think it might have the cheapest swap fees, if I'm not mistaken, relative to Uniswap and stuff. But anyhow, you can see the some of these things that I've mentioned on Aave currently existing. For instance, just being able to deposit a liquidity position and borrow against that. You can definitely do that right now on, I think, Aave v3. So that stuff still, that stuff works right now, and it's pretty cool.
Nice.
No, the infrastructure here definitely needs more projects like this, more baseline, what everybody uses on all the other chains that they're familiar with. They know how. It's critical for mass adoption to have the products that people like.
Yeah, I would personally be concerned if we didn't see more of this stuff, right? If we didn't see more of this competition, I would start to be concerned that PulseChain is not, something's wrong, right? That no innovation happening. That's not good. We need more of it. So
we need more builders. We need more devs over here. We need all that.
Yes, we do. Yeah, there's plenty of opportunity, guys. Go take it, right?
Yeah. Nice.
HexHarrison, you got questions?
No, I've got all the information I need. I'm waiting for you to borrow a shitload of hex so I can deposit some and get 8 massive APYs.
I mean, I can do that for you. Just
when you're ready.
When you're ready. That's wonderful. One of the things that's really interesting about testnet, I think I pointed it out to HexHarrison before, but we got sacrifice for freedom of this and freedom of that and freedom of that, but testnet absolutely is a pure display of freedom.
It's a seller. Yep.
The freedom to transact without cutting your arms and legs off and giving them to somebody. That's been the most wonderful thing, right? Now, of course, we're paying zero, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, I can't believe how many transactions I've made over the course of the the V2 launch. It's just amazing. Daily I think there's 20 transactions in there. I wouldn't think about doing that on Ethereum. And to me, obviously we'll pay something, but that's my bullish signal. Really, is that actually, the freedom to transact is going to make things a lot smoother, I think.
Sure.
I have. Go ahead.
Just for an announcement, just be aware in the Telegram. Just take note and keep an eye out for the V3 launch, so you can remove your liquidity from this current iteration on testnet over to V3. Just so you guys know, because there was an issue between V1 and V2 some people in the public found version 1 and deposited funds, and we had to since they weren't aware of V2 happening, it was kind of closed. When we launched V2, I can't access my funds. Oh no, right? And because we didn't have it open to the public, we had to reopen that up for a period of time so that they could transfer the funds. Now, with V2, we'll probably leave it open so you can go back between the two, right? But just so you guys know, V3 will be coming out, so be aware of that.
By the way, I noticed that with Mintra, right? I was going into Mintra, blah, 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 blah. I think I even asked a question on Twitter. It's like, wait a minute, why am I not getting any more yield off Mintra? And finally, I went in and I found a post that they launched a new version. So yeah, it worked out okay because I just added the new token and it automatically recognized it. But I went to my wallet. There was 0 Mintra in my wallet, 0 staked. I'm like, where's my Mintra? But then I just added the new token, went to the new platform and added it in. But yeah, I think I'll pull my liquidity out of Fiat until you guys launch.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's not doing much, so that just saved me some time.
Yeah, your coins will still be there and everything, right? But and the front end will probably still be there, but there's going to be a V3 happening shortly.
Nice. That's
just
good. I look forward to it.
Yes.
Is there besides the staking? Is there anything you could tease us with?
So
anything added?
I'm personally pretty excited about the tokenomics of the fiat coin because there is no inflation, right? It's a fixed amount of coins. The supply is you get what you get, right? And through staking it, you don't get necessarily all fiat coins for an APY or for a yield. You would essentially get a bunch of other coins that you could use to either collect that APY and use for whatever you want to buy the coins, your favorite coins or whatever, or to just accumulate a nice passive bag of those particular coins. So if you like PulseX and you don't want to buy it, you could just stake your fiat and allow other people to borrow it and pay it to you, right? So there's a multitude of cool things you could do with this particular coin.
Well, that's why I will buy fiat when I'm able to.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely will, and especially with the staking coming out, I will buy it on testnet as well.
Yeah, and just to give you an insight on what it costs to be a 1% holder of the coin, it only during the sacrifice, it only cost about $40,000 to $50,000 to get 1% of the coin, right?
Yeah.
So it was pretty cheap. So
yeah,
there's I think at least one person that has that sacrifice and has I think over or just around 10% of the supply. So
wow.
Pretty cool.
That's a yacht waiting to happen. But that's one
Hopefully
of the things
he'll sell some to you. Hopefully he'll sell some to you, Rock, because I ain't selling mine.
Well, if somebody could have given me a better heads up on actually sacrificing in, I would have done it. I would have just gone right in. But I'm one of those guys. Really
you had about 10 minutes.
I really stick my toes in the water to check the temperature before I dive in on anything.
Yeah, of course, yes, as you should, right?
I just did not. I couldn't get my head wrapped around it quick enough. But by the way, I was going to say one of the things I like about Pulse Dogecoin is the fact that it's got that locked supply at 12 million. Right?
Okay.
I like that. And it's held up pretty well during this crappy bear market that we've been experiencing. It hasn't done bad.
But there's a particular whale that keeps buying Pulse Doge and selling Hex. So do with that what you will, right? So
well, obviously that's not the best thing, right? But
yeah, it could turn around and be one of those you're pulling the tail of the tiger and then it turns around and bites you. But
sure.
That could possibly happen.
I was able to get a good amount of free PLSD.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't buy it.
I mean, I had like around 10,000 coins at one point, right? And sold that shit before the whole market basically took a dump. But But anyways,
Yeah, it reached what? Reached 5 cents? Did it?
I think it-
or five.
I
I
think
mean,
it-
$5.
$5.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
$5, yeah.
$5. That wasn't bad for some free money. It's still good for free money. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you still haven't claimed that stuff, go claim it. Go capture that.
I believe so too.
free
But
money.
yeah, so you guys are going to have a locked supply of fiat, right?
Correct. Yes.
And, and what is that supply?
So there's going to be the dev tokens. I don't have the specific numbers. I think it's I think 15% of the supply is going to be locked away for about a year, and then they have an unlock schedule of about 10%. I think it's monthly, but it might be weekly. I'm not 100% certain.
But what's the total lot? What's the total cap?
The actual total supply of fiat is 55,555,000. That's it. That's all
Because
you
why not?
I was
Exactly.
going to say,
Cool number,
I mean,
right?
the number to have as any.
If you got to pick a number.
My lucky number.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's.
Can
a
I
lot
just
of cool
give a little? Can I just give a little pro tip about using a platform similar to Fiat or using Fiat
Please do.
to people who don't understand some of this stuff and it sounds real complicated to them with these APYs? One of the tips I did early, I got it from actually a real estate guy, is put out a spreadsheet. Know your budget, know what you're working with. Don't kind of throw things around. Know where your money's moving. In spreadsheets, learning how to do that on testnet right now is a perfect opportunity. When people say go play with testnet, that's one of the things you should be playing with is your spreadsheet of where your money's going, where your money's growing, and where the better opportunities are, because they do shift around. But spreadsheets, guys, get spreadsheets, know where your money's going, know what your money's doing. Don't wing it. Learn that.
Yeah.
That's one of the key to using most of these protocols is knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
testnet is great for this stuff. So
Yeah. And I've kind of got. I had coin that for Hex, then I amount of just tokens that I have to track is going to for now test that I've got a pretty good handle on it, but I don't think that's going to be that way. I've got stuff. I don't know. I've got I think I've got 15 liquidity pairs.
Jesus Christ,
Right?
that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, well, just because
Yeah,
why
exactly.
not?
No, yeah.
I mean,
Totally. Yeah, more power to you.
We'll have monopoly money.
you know, I go in and I see what has high APYs for liquidity pairs, and I provide liquidity. The APY drops down, I pull the liquidity. It's just there's no consequences. I just gotta go. I mean, I'm gonna lose test tokens, but they're not gonna equal.
Yeah, but who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, and that's what I said. The testnet gives you the freedom to transact.
Hey, that's true. Yeah.
You know, but I mentioned this to HexHarrison the other day. It's like, dude, when Mainnet launches, we gotta reset the brain, right?
Quality has to kind of disappear.
One pulse over here, one pulse over there.
Because
Oh, God.
I'm gonna have to go in this weekend and zero out everything and just check where my bags are at, because I know that I've at least tripled my total coins. It's been nuts, but like I said, I've been freewheeling it, man. And APYs are high, go over there, right?
Yeah.
Liquidity here, farm over there,
To be honest,
the validators that were in a good place for me to put anything. Go ahead, Tim.
I was going to say, I spend most of the morning before I make my moves is actually counting the decimal places. And I just wish they'd put commas in there because it's like, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's a million. No, that's 100 million. Shit. Okay, hang on. 1, 2. And it's like, first world problems and all that. But yeah.
Wow.
I feel you there, man.
Blanca, do you have any questions for Dylan? I think
Hey guys, well, I haven't interacted as much with the testnet yet, but it's something that HexHarrison was showing me. And then I did see the stream when Dylan was on the other day. Can't remember the channel, but you said it's going to be a couple of weeks still, right? When we get Mainnet launched, that we're going to be able to interact fully. But I think Tin just said some good advice there. I've got some experience with spreadsheets, so I'll pull up a spreadsheet. And,
guess who's going to be making the templates for everybody?
Yeah, well, I can make a template.
Yeah, there's a couple videos out on YouTube. That tell you how to set up a basic crypto spreadsheet for tracking your coins and tracking your money. But the margins are going to be thinner they're not going to be like testnet.
Right.
It's just not, I mean, I can't say that loud enough and spreadsheets help you put your capital to work the best. Find that high APY, find where you're not making the gains that you could be, and stop that playing around stuff and be serious.
But I think from the bigger picture, I think HexHarrison mentioned to me, I'm in a position where I don't want to get rid of my Pulse and PulseX for quite a while, and I should have an amount. I mean, initially you're thinking, look, if you look at Hex, I think the first 3 months, did it go up 358x or something? I was kind of looking at that volatility, but I'm looking for some things where I could earn some passive income and hold on to those bags now. So rather than just selling.
Yeah.
Now's the time. Now's the time. We're early. You're kicking off a brand new chain. You can start your good habits off with this new chain try it out on testnet and make that money. They're giving away free money out here.
Yeah.
Every day people are making money.
I personally would also prepare the situation where it's very similar to how Hex launched, where, the starting price for Hex, many people don't know this, but it was a third of a penny when it started, right? Which is a very high number. Okay. And, from December of 2019 all the way to, I think April or May, it was underwater. Okay. Pretty much that entire time. Okay. So I would, prepare for a situation that could be similar to that, because nobody is right now. Nobody thinks that that's possible. But I would mentally prepare for something like that to happen. I think that would be very valuable if you did. There's nothing wrong with having plan A and then plan B. Okay. Yeah. Just keep that in mind, guys, please.
By the way, that Hex chart, I have seen that Hex chart every day of Hex's existence, with the exception of maybe 1 to 2 months during December and January of 20. I'm like, no,
if you want that full chart, go on go.hex.com and look at the T-share price chart, right? Because on the first day, you could see clearly where it went like this, like a big ass U, and then it went sideways, and then we pumped.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun, just being involved with Hex from the start. Right?
Oh yeah,
and we're gonna have that all again. And of course, there's always the best way to keep track of your coins is leave them in your wallet. That's the best way to keep track of them. But they're gonna be lazy. Those are lazy coins. They're not gonna be working for anybody. But
you're gonna be like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. One for you, one for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, dear.
So yeah, I don't know.
It's good times ahead. for sure.
I honestly don't know what I'm going to do when testnet launches. I have ideas, but until I see what I see, I'm not going to decide.
You mean with mainnet?
Yeah, mainnet. Sorry. Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Tin Top. But yeah, I got to see what I see when I see it.
Yep.
But but as I mentioned to HexHarrison earlier, there's a lot of people out there that ask the question on Twitter. It's like, what will you do when what's the first thing you're going to do when PulseChain launch? The first thing I'm going to do is mint my tokens. I'm going to mint my coins. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And by the way, that brings a bit of speculation that we could just kind of fantasize over a little bit. How long will Richard Hart keep those? How long will he be able to keep that price at zero so people can mint before it starts gaining value or starts finding value? Did anybody thought about that?
I don't know if, like I said earlier about the bridges, there's anybody that can come in and allow that value to transfer over almost immediately, right? So,
see, that's the question, right? How's that going to work? Because the whole point of launching at zero, so you can mint your tokens at zero, so that would mean everybody's got to mint their tokens second one of PulseChain launch. I mean, right?
That would be almost as long as the fiat sacrifice.
Without having to mint. Without having to mint them at some value, right? That's a pretty good question. I haven't heard anybody really talk about it, but yeah, it's been a curiosity.
So you guys could think about it like this. All your tokens will be there regardless if you're there or not. So for instance, it'll be an entire network fork, right? Or a system state. So your tokens will exist as soon as the fork goes live. And
wait a minute. Well, hold on a second. You're talking about PulseX and PulseX?
Yes.
Those, I thought that he had said we would have to mint those.
No.
Okay, maybe that's why nobody's talking about it. So I hadn't. No, I hadn't heard anything contrary. But I remember last summer, he said that you would get points and then you would go in and mint your tokens. And the reason why they would start at zero value was so that you couldn't be taxed on minting tokens of value.
No, they would just be in your wallet, essentially. So yeah, they'll run a bit of code. They'll have the pulse inflate to 140 trillion or whatever the number is, and then you'll just whatever you sacrifice for PulseX will just appear in your wallet as soon as the fork happens.
Is that the airdrop element? So you just go into your MetaMask and then change it from Ethereum to Pulse Network and
nope.
Those coins would appear. No,
don't do anything.
It'll just appear there. So if you go on testnet right now and you just
I like that even better.
Yeah, it's
nice.
Easy.
Sure.
But they will drop at zero, right?
They will have PulseX won't have a ratio or a value or anything like that, right? But Pulse, it'll be tied to all sorts of different positions, all sorts of different coins and stuff like that. That'll be transferred over from all the dexes, because remember, Pulse is Ethereum. So whatever coins that were versus Ethereum are now versus Pulse. Okay. So all of those liquidity pairs will be transferred over from those Uniswap, SushiSwap, whatever, PancakeSwap, all that stuff will be transferred over to PulseX versus Pulse instead of Ethereum, right?
So that has the potential to grow pretty fast then.
It could. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, crystal balls. I've got crystal balls.
But as far as
crystal balls and
as far as the fiat value,
yeah,
the fiat value won't really chime in until the bridge is open. That's when we get a fiat value for the claiming your coins or having your possessing your coins at the time of the fork. The zero taxes won't happen until the bridge is there and we can bridge over economic power, is the way I understand it.
Yeah, because it's essentially it starts off as everybody has free valueless coins that they can do whatever with. But
I guarantee you, Richard Hart said we would have to mint them.
no, like on Pulse. On
Well, he
testnet,
did. He definitely said that last summer. Now, I might have heard it once and it stuck, but he definitely said it. He said that we would, once PulseChain launched, we would then mint our tokens at zero value. Then we're good.
Yeah, I mean, did you have to mint your tokens on testnet?
Well, no, but it's testnet.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Doesn't matter the value though. But anyway,
It'll be the exact same, so it'll just be there.
I'll ask Richard Hart in my call to Iceland here later today.
There you go. I mean, essentially, it'll work.
So,
I
don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but
there.
that's not the genuine Richard Hart, brother. So be careful.
Yeah.
That guy you met online is not the real Richard Hart.
Dylan, I'm glad that I mentioned it, because I've still been thinking this whole time that we would need to mint. So yeah, they'll just be in the wallet, right?
It would just appear. Yep. They would just be there.
And they'll still be zero value, right? So I won't have a tax event from taking possession of those tokens.
That's probably the goal, but they'll have a tradable ratio between other valueless tokens as well, until you bridge in stables or other coins from Ethereum chain or whatever other chain. They will essentially just be trading. It's like trading cards with other people, but they're all free that you got, and then until you value them, you won't know what they're valued at, right?
So at the time that I take possession of those tokens, they will not have a fiat value. So
Correct.
That there's no fiat value to claim on taxes, right?
Yeah. You'll just be able to trade with other valueless coins.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, good enough.
That makes sense.
Good to have that sorted out. I don't want to go in to mint my tokens and I can't mint them because they're already there.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Sure.
Anyway, but by the way, I like the prospects that Fiat has. Like I said, I never used this protocol in any other way, shape, or form. I've just been enjoying it on testnet, and I do see, I like the opportunities that it could present, right? And and I do love the fact that that hexagons are developing stuff that we can use. So much bad info coming out over time with Hedron and PLSD, and for me, it just didn't make any sense. I'm just like, this is just another opportunity. I don't think I'm going to get wrecked because I feel safe. I feel safe in the community. I feel safe with the amount of information that I have at my disposal. I feel safe with the community that I can ask questions into to make sure that I'm not, stepping towards the edge of the cliff, so to speak. So, I mean, the whole Hedron thing was just a fiasco. I mean, I didn't make any judgment on it until I heard Alex speak on a stream. And once I heard him speak on a stream, I'm like, yeah, I mean, why not, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think I will ever, I may or may not wrap a stake. But by the way, look, I want to give text to my daughter, right? Right? But if I gift her hex, maybe she's going to cash it right out straight away and go, I need some shampoo, or, I need to get my nails done, right? But I can lock up hex for maybe 2 years, wrap it up and say, here you go, have fun with this, right? Yeah. That to me would be valuable. I would do that, right? Yeah. And I immediately saw that because obviously it's a problem I've been working on for a while, is how am I going to help people with investment, not here's some money, have fun, right? Just investment. So anyway, blah blah blah. But Hedron looked pretty promising to me from the start. I appreciated having it, and I feel the same way about Fiat. I appreciate having it. I appreciate that it's developed by hexagons who understand, and day one hexagons like us, right?
Yeah.
So that's wonderful, and you know, I'm so happy that you came on to talk with us. Right? I don't want to keep you. I'm not trying to end the call, but I just wanted to state that I'm very appreciative of you coming on,
Of course.
and I learned I learned about a lot more stuff than just fiat. You know. So.
Oh yeah.
You know.
There's. I mean, hey, man. You know, I love to talk about all this shit. So.
Yeah.
You know, thanks for having me on.
Well, you know, look, this stream is this is not a big brain stream. This is just a stream to hopefully interact with people in the community, learn about them, you know, find a way to, you know, to elicit information out that may be useful to people that may watch, you know, and actually. You're the first. We had Hex Tangent on, and we kind of asked him a few questions about, you know, liquidity and providing liquidity and what are the risks and a bit to limit orders and you know, Johnny Chaos has come on and joined us two times now. He actually we just did a stream like straight away out of the blue, like, okay, let's just do a live stream. And I sent Chaos a link, and he just jumped in. So Johnny Chaos was on the first stream, and we went for like 5 hours or something.
That's pretty awesome.
I mean, that's what this is about, connection, and hopefully exchange information along the way that could be useful to us and anybody out there that might be watching. I do notice with a lot of streams that I watch, there's so many questions that I want to ask, and I may ask them in the chat, but you know how that goes, right? So I can never go. Yeah, I'm like, but wait a minute, what about this? I did, you know, because I think I may have curiosities from a different perspective than a lot of people do. So anyway, but you know, this is such a great stream. We've got Blanca on here, and Tin Top came back to join us. This is Tin Top's second time on, and this is like our 5th stream or something.
Nice.
This maybe is our 6th one. I mean, we're not listed on Hex streamers yet. Anybody out there that knows how to get our stuff listed on Hex streamers, let us know. Anybody watching this later, put it in the comments. But
I think the caveat, you have to have more than 2 viewers at any one time. But I think that's well, anyway.
Right.
I'll be doing an edited version that's going to go up in a couple of days. So I put the highlighted reels on my YouTube channel. So saves you listening to 3 hours of us talking about various stuff. But yeah, I'll edit the highlights and put that on. So that's quite popular at the moment. So yeah,
Tin Top,
but it's nice to have you on.
There's no gatekeeping from Hexkins to Hexkins that much anyway. There's a Discord for Hex Tokens channel that lists a bunch of stuff, bunch of resources for anybody. I'm sure if you message those Hex stream,
I mean, sure.
I think that he will in the community, and there's been a few people good friends, but you know, I'll just tell you, it's a tough time for you, and I'll always drop you a link anytime we stream, just in case, right? You know. But, so you've got Memorial Day today.
Yes, sir.
Right. And did you have a good Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday? Anything fun?
Yeah, actually, for Saturday, I went to go meet up Dan. He's a day one Mexican as well, down by me, and we went and rode jet skis and shit all day. So that was pretty cool.
So is today recovery day, or you got more stuff planned?
Pretty much, yeah. We just lazy day with the girlfriend. So
that's good stuff, man. Yeah. I haven't I haven't been back to the U.S. Since, well, not around the time Hex launched. Actually, I got back,
Oh, wow,
just
okay.
got back in China right when Hex launched, right? Because that was
Nice.
2019, right?
Yeah, December
So, yeah.
2019.
Yeah, so that was the last time I was actually back home, and of course, since COVID, it's just I can't go back home until and I could go, I just couldn't come back, and
Right
right
on.
now, but I'm really looking forward to the days of getting back, relocated home, and enjoying jet skis on a Memorial Day weekend,
Right? Yeah.
because that doesn't happen here, brother. It just doesn't.
Shoot, man.
So. But there are always trips to Thailand and, Cambodia. There's a lot of places to go. And,
Jeez, man. I can't imagine being stuck over there. I have a cousin that works for I believe Disney out there in Beijing, and that COVID shit is no joke over there, man. They
No.
Oh, that would be Shanghai if it was Disney.
now Shanghai is
Oh, then yeah.
Disney-
Yeah.
Disney's in Shanghai. But yeah, those guys are
Shanghai's
still
locked down.
still locked up. Actually, HexHarrison was in Shanghai until last August, and he went to the UK to hang out for a while. But
Sure.
we both have a lot of friends there that are going through it, man, and they've been
Yeah.
going through it for
not good.
2 months now, I guess. Yeah.
I was going to say,
Crazy,
on a
yeah.
positive note, like everything seems to be opening up around Europe. I think even in
Yes.
Spain, there minimal restrictions now. You can travel, and I'm going to go
Yeah.
going to holiday in a few weeks. So.
Yeah.
Since
And-
first time since 2019, actually. So.
Oh wow. Well, anyway, that's going to be a lot of fun, right? Even I can't really just I can't go to Hong Kong. I'm literally 40 minutes from downtown Hong Kong, right? I'm just across the border. I can't even go there because when I come back, I got to quarantine for 21 days.
That's fucking
Whoa.
insane.
Yeah, you can't.
It is mental. It is
You
mental.
can't- you
Knowing
can't
what
do
we
that.
know now, obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't do that when you're trying to make a living, right? And my music's not making me rich, so I got to work. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's all relative. You go through whatever, but it's not all terrible. But by the way, so today on my way home from work, I stopped just on the corner before I come into my apartment to get my COVID test. Once every 3 days, have to get tested.
Jesus.
Well, they don't. Yeah, they're just going to abandon all the testing here now. But so, Rock, I was saying, do you,
Jesus.
in terms of the CBDC, or do you use more? I mean, what's the situation of cash in China? Is everything digital now? Or, I know they launched their central bank currency, did they?
Well, that the central bank digital currency is still pretty much in pilot program kind of thing, but I mean, I haven't carried a wallet for years. I use Alipay and WeChat to pay for everything, but scan on my phone. I haven't touched cash. The only time I've touched cash since probably 2014 is when I went back to the U.S. I mean, but it's great. They've got it figured out here, and I hope we get it figured out back home pretty soon. But I mean, I can buy anything anywhere with my phone, whether it's a street vendor selling fruit in a car from a cart. I can pay him.
Even beggars have QR codes, mate.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, even
yeah.
beggars have their own QR codes. It's crazy.
So no, about the digital currency, I think the digital currency is probably going to happen, sometime maybe this year. But here's what's going to happen, okay? And now I got this from a reliable source, but I'm not going to verify it 100% is accurate. But what I was told is that now Chinese currency comes in. The highest currency value is 100 RMB note, right?
Yeah.
So. And then from there, it goes down. But that 100 RMB note, after a certain amount of time, is going to be worth 1 RMB. Now, what does that do? What does that do? All that cash hanging, all of that untaxed cash hanging out in places, in warehouses, under mattresses. Now it's either got to get into the banking system.
Oh, what?
So,
So they're forcing people. So you need to go digital, otherwise it drops in value 100x.
right,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So now,
Yes, sir.
for that guy that's got
So
whatever,
that would
100
drive the adoption.
Didn't
well,
they do that with the?
but not just that. Not just that. They can get all of that cash out of its hiding places and get it taxed.
Didn't they? They did that with the rupee, didn't they? In India.
I don't know. I don't
did
know.
something
They might have.
They've devalued it, yeah, I think in a lot of different places, but then the only thing is there in India, I don't think they have the digital setup, but I know, like, since my
There it
lifetime, I
is.
know in Turkey, I think in Italy, they've done the same things with lira. Before the euro, they kind of devalued.
Crazy.
But I
Yeah.
was
Guys,
interested.
I gotta jump off, guys.
Oh gosh, Tin Top, thanks, dude. Listen,
Yeah, thanks for swinging by, buddy.
I hope you
My
next
pleasure.
time. I hope the next time we stream, you get the word and you pop in. If I see you in the chat, I'll drop you a link.
Cool. You guys have a good week, man. Good. That was a great song too, Rock. I really like that song
Oh,
you played earlier too,
dude,
man.
thank you a lot, man. And hey, Tin Top, we love you over here, man. Thank you.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, brother.
Cheers, buddy.
And then it was 4. So, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of different perspectives to be had over here on a lot of things for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know when they're
There's
gonna.
definitely a lot of videos about people going to the bank and pulling out literally suitcases full of cash because they need to pay staff, they need to pay workers, or
Wow.
it's just crazy. And of course, the highest denomination being 100, a stack of 10,000 is like that thick. It's like a house brick. So you know, it's kind of crazy. But again, soon, with all the digital stuff, because the government wants to tax all that stuff, and there's no Pablo Escobar style cash in the doors and in the stuck in the walls and things like that anymore.
You're either going to need to get your notes in the bank and go and have the government go, oh, wait, that's unreported income, right? Or just lose it all.
Yeah.
I'd say it's pretty shrewd, but I think that's probably pretty accurate that's what'll happen, but I don't know. But I haven't. It's been wonderful not really having to deal with cash, and I hated dealing with cash, especially here. I mean, some of the notes you get. Yeah.
Well, it's taxis. Taxis, the change is the change.
Yeah, but
So,
I'm also going to hop off too, guys.
well, it's
Enjoy
been an
your
absolute
night.
pleasure, Dylan. Thank you so
Dylan,
much for coming in.
Of course. Yeah.
Dylan, you're always welcome to come in and talk to us if you're available. When we're streaming, I'll drop links to you. But
Hey.
I do appreciate you. We've tried to get this worked out for a while, and
Yeah, the
and-
schedule thing is just a little wonky, but yeah.
Yeah.
But for sure we don't have to talk about fiat. We can, but we don't have to. We can talk about whatever.
Hey, I got a lot of shit I like to talk about, right? So,
That's great. Yeah, that's great because so far we don't have, we've got a few really good people to interact with, and it's been fun. Chaos and Tangent and Tin Top and Blanca now is joining our kind of crew. But it's nice to have a little nucleus that we can kind of call family or feel like it's family anyway. And
Sure.
just appreciate it. And do me a favor from us. Just tell, what is it? Buckfoot? Buckfoot?
Careful how you say that.
I was working on it. Tell him and the devs that we appreciate having the opportunity. That Fiat's
Of
gonna
course,
bring.
yes.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, man. It's brilliant.
it.
And
Yeah.
it's so funny because when you open the site and the disclaimer comes down and it's like, this site is totally going to be redone, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with it? It's working great. I think it's
know,
fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to say from a crew that's actually been interacting with it and literally on a daily basis, it's a pleasure to meet you and yeah, I mean I know the devs are kind of incognito, but yeah, send out our love, obviously. They're,
Our love.
yeah, good job.
But
Thank you so much, brother. I'll let you get on with your day off and have a good day. We'll look forward
I
to talking
appreciate
to
it,
you.
Thanks, man. Have a good
We'll
day.
look forward to talking to you soon.
join us in the Telegram.
Bye-bye.
Fiat Crypto.
Okay.
Black
Yeah,
Bunch,
all
Link
right, we'll
Bunch,
search it out.
enjoy. So thanks for having me on, guys.
Take care, buddy.
Bye,
Take
Dylan.
Right.
So, if you don't mind, I would like to just take a minute to go to the bathroom, and I'll let you and Blanca kind of summarize a little bit. It'll take me 2
Do you
minutes.
not have your own pot down here? No? What? I've been 3 times already.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. How you
Oh,
doing,
is that
Blanca?
that's the pot you were drinking out of, right? That looked.
Well, no, I
bigger,
drink,
the
I
hydrate.
drink out of this. I drink out of this one, yeah.
Yeah, no, doing well, Tim. The sun's coming out now, so I've actually got a little meeting. Well, it's been a very quiet week at work. Supposedly I'm
that's
working,
good.
so I've got a meeting.
Well, your
next week,
sound,
but-
your sound is definitely sorted now. So you,
Yeah.
your sound's. What I'm gonna do is edit all the highlights down, and try
Great.
and make a 20-30 minute vid, and then put it on the HexHarrison site, because there was some interesting points made, and it's all knowledge, isn't it? At the end of the
I
day.
think, especially for you guys that have been interacting with the Fiat platform.
Yeah, like I said,
No,
it
you
was
answered
nice
your
to speak
questions.
to somebody that just to sort of say, are we doing it right? Is this what it's built for? Are we, have we completely missed the boat, or are we on point? And it's nice to hear that the other options are available, and and also learn about why the APYs are changing and all that kind of stuff. So that was, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I don't know if you come across this HexHarrison, but there was a stream by, I know not many people like him, Peter McCormack.
Oh God.
And this
I saw.
of,
I tell you
El
what.
Salvador. They're talking
Oh
about.
yeah.
I was just watching some of that.
I haven't seen him recently. The last time I saw him was when he did a live stream with Richard Hart, and I just felt it was so. With all the I mean, I think it was about a year ago now, but it was just scam this and you're a scammer, and I just thought it was so rude and just disrespectful. I just thought, why is Richard Hart wasting his time with this idiot? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he basically blocked every single hexagon on Twitter. So then I thought, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I heard about him before, but then I just saw this. He had this recent interview now, but it's with the El Salvadorian leader. He's talking about Bitcoin adoption,
Right.
and I just thought it's just interesting, just from a kind of macro
No.
level.
I mean, as I say,
And,
it's always interesting to learn about the
it's
other
just-
side.
Talking about Bitcoin, like the country's made it legal tender, but he's saying they don't look at it not like a pump and dump investment. They're actually going to be distributing it to the population, and yeah, it's just quite interesting just to see in the world. We know that money's been printed, the fiat, a lot of inflation's going on, and different takes on. I mean, from the whole point of view, you just want more adoption, I think, in the crypto space. So,
Sure.
like you guys mentioned, you were in Bitcoin before. I wasn't in Bitcoin, but that kind of got you onto. Well, it's a kind of gateway for many people, isn't it? They don't know
Exactly.
the term crypto.
I mean,
They
I
might
think
just-
a lot of people still think that crypto is Bitcoin. There's a lot of no coiners out there that literally think, "Oh, crypto, you mean that Bitcoin?" They don't understand. There's other tokens and everything else. They just think,
it's like tissue or Kleenex.
exactly,
the branding, paint, deluxe paint,
yeah.
Cola or Coke, right?
yeah.
Vacuum cleaner or Hoover.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Right, boys and girls, I've got to shoot off and get some work done today. It was a pleasure as always. Are you gonna
Well, I've got
tie
a
us out
meeting
with
at
another
3.
tune?
Well,
Oh, Blanca's got a meeting at 3. You gonna play us another tune? Play us out.
I can. What tune would that be? Let's go with making music, all instrumental,
Nice.
hard rock and roll music. All right, let me get this queued up here, and I'll get it started. And then after this plays, we'll say our goodbyes, say our shills, and share screen. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, what? Uh-oh. Sorry, got the wrong one. We don't want to hear the same one again. All right, 1 second. Hide YouTube, please. Okay, I think it's okay now. All right, here we go. Share. Add to stream. There we go. And go. Is hard rocking good time. Rock Edison Music.
RockEdisonMusic.com.
Yes. Coming to you live from Four Dog Studio in sunny Shenzhen.
Well, not at the moment because it's pitch black, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know. But
right, I'm going to make a move, guys. Pleasure as always.
Hey,
well,
cheers, guys.
Yep.
Thank you very
on the
much.
flip side.
I'm going to end it. See you all later. Have a good time.
Take care.
Stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Right.